My name's Ricky Long. I'm an artist out of Victoria, British Columbia. I do multiple types of art, collage. I work with oil pastels. I do painting with my wife. And I also do correspondence art through the postal system. Keeps me away from the television set. I mostly work with stuff that I find on the ground, stuff that I find through thrift stores, magazines and stuff, and cutting up magazines. I read way too many Mad magazines when I was a kid, so it kind of tilted the way I look at the world. It made me laugh. And truthfully, when I make this work, I have to laugh. Sometimes I just sit here, when I can't sleep at midnight, I come down here and I go to work and I make something and I just start laughing. I'm just like, holy cow, this came out of my head. I did, this zine was all on UFOs, skateboarding. I like this. This was an experimentation. This was another zine that I created called King of Snipe. I usually only do 20 issues of a zine and then it's dead and I start another run of magazines, but they're all kind of the same. But this one, Fern had got some of this clear printing. So it's J. Adams, so I just printed them backwards, so you put it together. It's pretty good looking. Yoga or vodka. I mean, it really doesn't mean anything, but to me, I think it's funny. Yeah, it's had some good stuff. It had an old car driving out of town. It's like, get the f out of town. And this woman's asking how much for a gram. And there's the dog running after the owner and it says, "You forgot the poo bags." It's kind of like that. Again, why? I don't know.
My name's Fern Long and I'm an artist from Victoria, BC. I always think, oh, that's it, I'm a painter, that's what I do, that's what I love. And then I do like 2 paintings and then I hate painting and I don't want to do painting anymore. And so I do collage and I do photography and I do assemblage artwork with using like scrap materials like cardboard and newspaper and old books, and I've done a lot of work with other artists as well as Ricky, making installations using found materials.
I try to do some writing in some of them. So this one it's got a picture of a snow leopard that I painted. And then I wrote a story about her. She lived at the base of Everest, so Mount Everest. She had never taken a live human down, but on occasion she would find a freshly dead one. If she was quick, she could tear through the snowsuit and get to the warm insides. Those bits were her favorite. So it's kind of the fiction I come up with through my head. I like the hunt of finding materials that I can use. Family photos, old black and white photos of family and children, and then of course I would print them on my printer bigger so that they were kind of a black and white, and then color them, hand color them, and I always found it the best to make the child have a cigarette. It's a newborn, and the father is having a cigarette, and the child is having a cigarette. The newborn's having a cigarette too. So years ago, I would sell lots of junk at the flea market, and then I'd have a section of my table that would have framed photos of my creations of similar stuff like that, and people would walk by. So it's a great avenue. You'd have like maybe 500 people walk past your table. So you'd have 500 people look at your art that day, and maybe 1 would stop, or maybe 2 would stop, and maybe 1 would buy. So that's always kind of exciting. But I always felt when someone would buy some of my artwork at the flea market, I wanted to ask them if they were okay, if they wanted to go to see a psychiatrist or something. You know, because the work is just not normal. They're all one-offs. I have produced some of them for distribution through the mail if someone wants one, but it's just too expensive to print the print them with all the colors and stuff. You know, by the time I'm finished, I got a $20 zine that I don't feel good about selling you for 20 bucks, so I give it to you for 10, or I give it to you for free, and it ends up costing me a lot of money. So. Everyone talks about side effects of vaccinations. This one's called instant side effect, and the kid's eyes are huge. And this is the good one too. Just the look on the man's face. He's looking at the paperwork and says, "Sorry, you're not in the will." And you can see lots of families going, "What the f? What do I get?" You know? Oh yes, Celine Dion pregnant in an ice field. I put a happy man's face and then VAT 69 whiskey. So sometimes this happens when you drink. Massive disaster. Dead men tell no tales. Elton John's Saturday Night's All Right for cockfights. Me and Fern did a residency on Sointula, which is Malcolm Island, up the north of the island. And that's where we initially started working on some big paintings together. But while I was there, I scoured what books they had at the residency for pictures to use. So I made this little zine, the Sointula zine, and I printed about 10 of them. I left them, you know, at the co-op, and I left them at the restaurant in Sointula. So some people actually got them. There were just mostly painted pictures of Sointula scenes. There wasn't a lot of humor.
He's always been collecting things and curating things and putting things together, and really interested in music and art in a way that came really naturally. He's self-taught. If he's interested in something, he gets all the books and he watches the documentaries and he learns about it. We came at it in different ways. I want to go sit in a classroom and learn that way. But he's right next to me, learning at the same time in his own way. And we'd go to galleries, and I'd just walk by, you know, I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know what that's about, keep walking." And he'd be gone, and I'd turn around and he's standing in front of this piece of work that I didn't understand, and he's like so moved by it. And I'm like, "What?" I can read the little cards beside the painting and tell him and fill in the blanks about where it was made and who made it and why, and fit it into art history. But he often will see stuff in a way that's more of an emotional reaction.
Correspondence art is something I do through the mail system. So just a simple postcard, please get lucky. I have fun when I send postcards to people because sometimes I write really bad things for the postie to see. You know, I can see this postie going, "What the hell?" I've done collaborative correspondence work with an artist named Kyle Lubinsky. We did a lot of exchanging of art, and then we started to combine our art together and put them in nice frames. We did an exhibition at a gallery up the street, and it was well received. Lots of people came. It was really exciting. A lot of art shows have, you know, wine and cheese at the opening. I chose cigarettes and beer, so there was cigarettes and beer at the opening. Currently, I'm still working with Kyle on hopefully another exhibition in the future. There's a bunch of us that would do collage art. COVID was kind of easing up, so we thought we'd have an exhibition of the work that we'd been working on, and of course the best place to do it would be outside. So I would walk that trail underneath Bay Street Bridge, and I seen these big pillars, and I thought, well, we can run some clotheslines with some clothespins and hang our collage art up. So I think there was 5 or 6 of us. We chose World Collage Day to do that. It wasn't very well advertised, and pretty much the only way you would see if you walked by. After a while, we thought, well, we'll get some sort of music, but I know Ron and Soma do the sound art, and I thought, man, we got to expose sound art. So I got Ron and Soma on board, and there's a big patch of ground there where they can set up their equipment and bring in sound artists to expose people to that. we have performance artists, the open actions would come. Sean Shepherd came and did some performance art the first time. It just kept evolving into a bigger and bigger event with more and more people coming. And the best part is you don't have to fill out a form. You don't have to pay a fee. You don't have to be judged. So I think, you know, if you're an artist that's not comfortable with the gallery world or all that type of thing, it's a great moment in time where you can just come down, hang your art up on a fence or on a table if you choose to bring a table, and show it to the public. And we do pretty much have a pretty close genre of artists that come down. So there's kind of like the misfits, the underground people.
This painting behind me is a painting that Ricky and I have been working on for most of this year. It started, in fact, it has been a year. It started out as being part of a series we want to call Everything in Its Place, which is being ironic because everything is chaos.
And I just thought me and Fern should try to create work together. And it failed miserably in the beginning. Oh my gosh, it got to a point where I was doing my type of work, and then she was trying to make her colors look wonderful with my type of work, but it wasn't our work, it was mine and hers.
Like musicians collaborate all the time. And it's similar to that. Like we both paint at the same time, and then we both look. And sometimes we don't agree, but most of the time, what he adds or what I add, this painting is different than anything that either of us create on our own, which is fabulous. It's like 1 + 1 = 9 instead of 2.
Mostly abstract work. We did try a realism painting, and it just was not successful.
It was very realistic, and it was terrible. And we kept trying to fix it. There's probably about 5 layers of paint on this painting, and we decided when we came home from a trip to look at galleries that we needed to just cover it in lots of paint and stop trying to make things look like real things.
Make a painting feel like something, not look like something. So I think that's what we try to do together. And we do successfully do it together. And they're wonderful puzzles.
Totally experimental. We had no idea where it was going or what was going to happen. And there was lots of times where I didn't know if it was going to work. Neither of us did. But we learned to work together, and it's been really good. It's working. It's closer now. It's getting closer. It needs another couple layers of paint, and then we'll be there, I think.
It makes me happy, you know, whereas I think a lot of people don't have that luck with their spouse, you know.
We started sort of working in tandem and exploring all these different forms of art, making collage and painting and lots of different sculpture. I wanted to go to art school, but he's always been very artistic and creative, just in everything he does. So it comes naturally to him. He didn't have to go to school necessarily.
I mean, it did take work. I mean, we weren't happy in the beginning, but we're very happy when we do these things now. We've successfully done about 6 paintings now that are 5 feet by 9 feet big. We did exhibit 2 of them at an art house one time, and people, yeah, there was lots of people that just stood and looked, and that's the outcome for me. That makes me feel good. If someone will spend longer than 2 seconds looking at my painting, or looking at our painting.